they like want to say, add any stories or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in charge of that.
We got one person watching.
Already.
Six people.
I bet you we could top 50 today.
I hope. It'd be awesome.
I guess I need to share it now. Let me share it before we get going.
My page ain't even loading.
There's not much service out here, bud.
No, service is horrible out here. Are you ready?
Almost. All right, let's do it.
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, we are live with episode 6 of Flag to Flag Media Live. JT, we've been waiting for this for a couple weeks, man. I know I've been excited all day. Please comment. I just want to make sure, because to me this is a pretty important live show. Make sure we got sound. If you can hear somebody, please give us a thumbs up and we'll get rolling on it. I'm going to go ahead and keep talking just because we got an hour and we got a lot to go over in an hour. Well, we can go over a little bit of an hour. We don't have to be right at an hour.
As long as we're close.
As most of you know, we mentioned a while back, it's probably been a month ago, hadn't it? A little bit over a month ago?
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been
When
a minute.
you were on the show the first time, we had made the comment that we were going to start a Thunder Valley Raceway Hall of Fame, and we are officially there. We'll give a big shout out to Eric Bryant, Stephanie Bryant at P3 Graphics for making the sign down here in front. The sign down here in front, and are you putting this sign up there too?
Yes, that sign will go under the big sign up there. Each year we'll have another little sign to go underneath the big one.
Okay. So these are gonna be hung up at the fairgrounds. So whoever gets inducted tonight into the Hall of Fame, the signs will be up at the fairgrounds, so your name will be displayed for the Hall of Fame. And I'm excited about it. Before we get started though, JT, congratulations on your win last Saturday night, bud. I was proud of you.
Man, it was a big night. I tell you, I'm really excited that we got the 92 parked in Victory Lane for Dad. He was the one that actually drove it out of Victory Lane.
Did he?
And man, it was unbelievable night and very blessed. I mean, put that motor in Friday night and go win with it Saturday. I'm tickled to death with it.
Oh, you can't beat that.
No,
you cannot. I've only got one downfall in this whole winner's circle speech, though.
I know.
Being a new co-host, and just the support you get from Flag to Flag Media.
I know.
But I will say this, though. My sticker's on the car, is it?
Not yet. But Eric's
See, that's why you forgot.
That's why I forgot.
It wasn't on the car
and
at the
I forgot
time.
my fiance, too, so you can't feel
Did
too
you
bad.
really?
Yeah, she's
Well, I'm
mad.
not even worried about myself then if you forgot her. You're going to have some explaining to do there.
Oh, yeah.
So, JT, give us a little bit of a rundown on how this is going to go tonight, because I know we've both been working on this pretty hard the last couple of weeks. So,
yeah, we've been working really hard on it. And before we get carried away, where I want to start, we're going to talk about on the induction process. We're going to talk about how you can become a member of the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame board. Okay. And then we're gonna roll in. We're gonna do the one inductee at a time. We got some pictures of some. I got a write up on each one of them. I've got a hold of their family. A lot of them watching live don't even know they're gonna get inducted. You know? So I'm excited to get that. And I'm gonna talk about the list of names I got too, because I'm telling you, I got a book full of names of people that deserve to be in it that didn't quite make it. And I want you guys to help me get the people that deserve to be in there on there next year. So. Right. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to show the new signs, and we're going to pull the tape off the names, and it's going to be a really cool show. I hope you guys enjoy it. We put a lot of time and effort into this, and I'm sure there's going to be some people criticize on some of the names that got in and some people that didn't make it, but we're going to keep building it, and every year, just because you didn't make it this year don't mean you won't make it next year.
And like I said, we talked about this before the show, but this is a new thing. Like, this is something that we want, ourselves put together. So, if you didn't make it in, it's not that you're not deserving. It's just we picked 8 people. They voted on names. We compiled those names, and the most votes got in for the first 10. But after that, hopefully we can get a true board made, and it's just going to keep getting better and better every year, and we'll just keep getting more people in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we ready to talk about it now?
But I'm ready.
Okay. We got 30 viewers, so let's go with it here.
Yeah.
So here's how I did it. I got a hold of eight different people, and 7 of them responded to me with votes. Okay. So when I told these 8 people, I said I need a list of 10 to 30 names of people at Thunder Valley that you think made a difference and would deserve to have their name in the Hall of Fame. Here were my stipulations. Okay. I wanted it to be a guy that didn't have nothing to do with racing anymore. Like I don't want somebody that's still building their legacy to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because their story's not done.
Right.
I want to tell somebody's story that's done, that's been there, and that they've done all they can do for it. My other thing was, shoot, I had it out there in my head there, but my 8 people voted. Okay. My other thing was they didn't have to be a driver. They could be a driver, an announcer, a promoter, somebody that sold 50-50 tickets, somebody that worked a concession stand, somebody that drove a tow truck. Photographer, whatever. Right. Whoever was there that made a difference deserves to be in the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame. We're not building it just for race car drivers. There's so many people over the last 40 years that have played a role there that it's not fair to just narrow it down to the race car drivers, because not all of them, I mean, there's great drivers, don't get me wrong, but the other people deserve recognition too. And I'm excited to say that 2 of the 10 never even drove a race car. So that's exciting.
That's a good thing, though, because to me, the Hall of Fame should be about who has improved the track, who has improved the facility, and made it a great place to go race.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So like I said, I told these people, I said, give me the list, 10 to 30 names, okay? Then I take everybody's list, and I wrote the names down that got it. And every time that the person got another vote, I put a tally by their name. So these people made the list. The guy that made it in last still received 3 of 8 votes. So the least amount of votes you could get to get in was 3. Now, it just so happened 4 people tied with 3, and those 4 people were the last, and it evened out to 10. So my goal is this year we're going to do 10. Next year I want to do 5 to 8.
Okay.
I don't want to do 10 every year because we're going to run out of names eventually, right? So
and we'll look at that each year to see how many people's going to win.
Yeah, if people tie at the end, so I'll just put them both in. If we had an odd number like 6 or 7, then I'll just put them all in. But this year it just happened that 10 worked out to they got 3 or more votes. So also, here's something else I want to talk about. If you guys want to vote, like, I don't care how many votes I got to do. I want to put you on the board. If you were a Thunder Valley person and you were diehard and you want to be able to put in your vote for the people you think deserve to make it, get a hold of me. Get a hold of Matt, Flag to Flag Media. Get a hold of JT Huffman on Facebook, Matt Lamar on Facebook. We want you to vote too. We want everybody to have a say. I don't want somebody to say, well, this is favoritism, because I don't want it to be like that. And that's why I picked 8 people that didn't have a whole lot to do with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wanted 8 different people's opinions, and I tried to get people from different generations, and I'm very happy that we got people that raced there in the 80s, and we got people that raced there in 2015.
Right.
So I want to spread that out, because I don't know the guys that ran in the 80s and 90s. Right. I wasn't alive, and some of these people that don't go anymore don't know the guys that raced in the 2010, 2015, and I know those guys. So let's work together, and let's make this a big success. And if you want to vote, get a hold of me, please. Don't hesitate, and I'm not going to think any less of you, and I'll make sure you vote every year.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, so and here's the other thing too that JT and I talked about too, about stories. If anybody's got anything that they want to chime in over here in the comments, we'll pick it up, and we'll see it, we'll hit on it or whatever. We'll put your comment up here on the screen and so forth.
Something else I want to add too, like Matt said, make sure you do comment, tell us stories about these guys, because a lot of these guys I don't even know. So it's cool. I wrote a paper up just off information I got from different people, but if you got something more to add to it, tell me. And I do want to say 8 people voted, and there was 5 pages of names. So you take 5 pages of names and you narrow it down to 10 names. That's not something easy to do.
No.
So don't think that you didn't get a vote, because a lot of you guys that didn't get a vote did. You just don't know it yet. And I don't want to ruin surprises,
Right.
And if we decide to read some of these names off later just for fun, that's fine too.
Yep.
I don't care. But I'm excited about this.
One thing too before we get really started is make sure you share this out, because these people that's getting inducted tonight, there's a lot of people that go back and they watch this show not live, but they watch it after the fact. So the more we can get this out there and get their names out there to congratulate them, we would definitely appreciate it. So make sure you share this live stream out, whether you do it tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, whenever. But we just want to make sure that these people get the recognition that they deserve, by getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know this Thunder Valley is a small track, and a lot of people don't even know it exists, but these guys spent a lot of their life there, and I think it's awesome. And I do want to say, back 80s, 90s, they were running 3 features per class. So
Right.
we'll think of the cars and names that went through there that
yeah.
I can't remember, my dad can't remember. Nobody can remember these guys, so help us remember them.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I talked about that a lot, didn't I?
Yeah. It's all right. No, it's all right. That's what we're here for.
Sorry, I just want everybody,
All right,
I don't want everybody to think it's rigged or nothing.
How we're going to do this is I'm going to reach up here and I'm going to pull the first tape off. If you notice, there's 10 names and they got tape over top of them. They are not in order. Okay, so they're in order for us because me and JT numbered them 1 through 10. But I will start pulling the tape off one at a time. We'll pull the name off. The person's inducted into the Hall of Fame. I got some pictures too of some drivers. We don't have pictures of all the drivers. I'll put the pictures up and then. Yeah, we'll go from there.
And I'm going to read you a small paragraph.
Yep.
And the order we're reading these guys is, so the first guy got 7 of 8 votes. So that's how we're going to go like that. Whoever got the most votes is going to go first, okay?
And I also, too, I have the capabilities to run multi-cameras, but I've not figured it out yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the name off. We're going to announce the name. I'll put a picture up if I have one, so then we won't be on the screen. But the picture of that person will be up while JT's reading her thing. So you ready?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's do driver number 1.
First inductee. This is exciting. This guy received 7 of 8 votes into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame, and I think it's an important guy in Thunder Valley history. Can they see it? I don't know if you guys can read it. So our first inductee is none other than Bill Pack. Okay, so I'm going to read a short little thing about Bill Pack, and then I want you guys to comment some stuff about him, okay? Because I know he was a big guy to a lot of people. All right. Bill started racing in 1972 at the Sports Drome Speedway in New Albany. Though he had some success at the Drome, it wasn't enough to keep him away from the thrill of dirt track racing. From the mid-'80s to 2021, Bill Pack could always be found slinging dirt at the Valley. He ran many different classes, including mini stocks, mini late models, bombers, pure stocks, and of course his famous number 25 Pro Truck. He had much success in these divisions, winning 70-plus races along the way with multiple championships throughout the years. I grew up watching Bill, and he was always a fan favorite at the Valley. He brought quite a crew along with him every week and was never afraid to lend a hand on anyone else's car. The rivalry that the Packs and the Snells had will go down as one of the greatest rivalries in Thunder Valley history. For many years, it was a Pac-Man or a Snell car that would win the race, and the shows they would put on was extraordinary. Plain and simple, Bill Pack will go down as one of the dominators of Thunder Valley. In my eyes, what makes him so special is he spread his dominance out for such a long period of time. Let's see where we're at. Okay, maybe not winning every week, but when you unloaded your car and you seen Bill Pack across from you, you knew you were going to have to contend with him. Bill, you are truly missed by many, and I'm sure you're watching up in heaven for us today. So congratulations to you and all of the Bill Pack family, and we'd like to congratulate you guys to be the first inductee into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
So congratulations.
Bill Pack, guys, was king for a long time, and I think what he done for the sport of dirt racing alone is crazy. Not to mention that I think he ran an ARCA car a couple times, and he recently passed away on us, and right. He's greatly missed. He's a good guy. I want to thank Austin Cochran and Sarah, I believe is her name, for helping me get all the information on him that I had there. The 70-plus wins. 70-plus wins in Thunder Valley, that's huge.
That is huge.
And the guy was just really good, and he'd come in with the school bus of people. There'd be 4 or 5 trucks with him, and man, I was always a Bill Pack fan.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
That's what
exactly
it's about.
What it's about.
That's what's about. And his fellow racers liked him and talk about him. And I don't know if you guys seen those pictures or not, but the one that the one of him in Victory Lane there with that last car, that thing was sharp, and he was super proud of it. And I really miss him, and I hope his family's watching. I hope they're really proud because he received 7 of 8 votes. So 7 of 8 people remember Bill Pack's name that I had votes. So
that's awesome.
I think that's huge. That has to speak volumes to him.
Okay, so we will move on to inductee number 2.
Did you get it?
Yep.
All right, I don't know if you guys seen this one, but this one's really cool. Our second inductee, Dwayne Bad to the Bone Brown. All right, I'm going to read my thing, and then I'll talk about him for a minute here. In 1989, at the age of 23, Dwayne and his dad, Larry, went to a Saturday night race at Thunder Valley Raceway. While spectating from the grandstands, Larry asked Dwayne if he'd be interested in driving one of the mini sprints, with the answer, of course, being yes. A mini sprint dynasty was born. They happened to know a friend selling a car, and soon after they bought it and trailered it home, they ran that car for 2 years before upgrading to a brand new car and jump-starting a historic mini sprint career. While racing mini sprint division, he won 50-plus heats and 48 feature events. He was the Thunder Valley Points champion for the first time in 1903 and then won it 5 times in a row from 96 to 2000. Other awards include a Sportsmanship Award in 1995 at Clark County Fairgrounds. He was the Clark County Fairgrounds champ in 2001, the Hard Charger Award and overall winner at Freedom Hall in 2002, a Top Dog Award at Freedom Hall in 2002, and the year 2002 would sadly be his last year behind the mini sprint, as he decided he was going to pursue a career racing late models and super stocks before retiring completely in 2015. The list of achievements is one any racer would be proud of, and the famous Black 3 will always be synonymous with Thunder Valley. And I am very proud to induct Dwayne Brown into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Dwayne. I know Dwayne personally. Dwayne's a great guy. He's always been around motorsports. I mean, he still goes and watches to this day. So definitely congratulations to Dwayne Brown. I know he still talks about his mini sprint career. So
I wish Dwayne Brown would come back racing.
Me too.
I actually bought the last super stock Dwayne Brown ran, and I ran it for a couple of years. And I worked with his daughter, Nikki, who I want to thank for all the information. Nikki Brown was a huge help getting me the information on him. And Dwayne, if you're watching, we're ready for you to come back. Just because we put you into the hall doesn't mean you can't make a comeback.
Right, exactly. He's helping Corey Baker with that pulling truck now, so he's just pit crewing. So
that's really cool to see Dwayne in. And like I said, that number 3, man, that car won a lot of races at Thunder Valley and was dominant for years. And 5 consecutive championships? Not many guys can say that,
right?
You know. So congrats, Dwayne. We're happy for you. I'm glad you made it. If anybody's got anything to say about Dwayne or Bill, please comment, and we'll just keep moving on until we see something.
All right, so we're going to move on to inductee number 3.
All right, our first promoter to make the Hall of Fame, Steve Smith. So I'm going to do a little thing about Steve Smith here. Our first promoter to make the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame, Steve created quite a legacy. Part of the SWM team, Steve spent a lot of his time at Thunder Valley. For approximately 8 years, Steve and his team would put on some of the best racing shows across Indiana. The best-known weekly sprint show across Indiana is what they're most known for. And to have a weekly mini-sprint program, you must have the racetrack in perfect condition every week. And to do this in Indiana weather is no easy task. Hours upon hours were spent every week trying to keep the track in top conditions. From Salem, Indiana, Steve took great pride in his work and was proud to be promoting a track in his hometown. He also was a lot of help to his hometown buddies, helping make sure that they had what they needed to get to the track every weekend. A promoter and a friend, Steve's heart problems took him from us way too soon, and it's hard to say how many more years he could have put into the racetrack in front of us. The standard he left behind is one hard to keep, and I'm very proud to induct Steve Smith into the 2022 Thunder Valley Class Hall of Fame.
Congrats, Steve.
I'm not a very good reader. I don't know if you guys can tell.
That's all right. It's all good.
But yeah, Steve Smith. I mean, he put on the races at Thunder Valley for a long time. Him and the SWM guys really put the racetrack on the map, you know. And the mini sprint program was huge back then.
Right.
You know, 30 to 40 cars. The mini stock program was big. The mini late model program was big. I mean, they ran 3 classes, and they would pack the pits with 3 classes.
And the thing about being a promoter, like you hit on in Southern Indiana, you know, you're fighting weather, you're fighting everything, and to be able to pull a crowd and car count week after week through the conditions, through the complaining and whatever, I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yes, and what I really like about it, and maybe this is just me too. I grew up with Dad and Bud and Richie, and they would all talk about Steve even after he was gone. You know, I mean, that's the president he left behind. Well, if Steve was here, this track would still be as good as it ever was. You know,
right? And
I think he set the bar really high, and it made it hard for other promoters to follow suit.
Right.
But to put him on the map, I think Steve was a big part of that.
Yep. So yeah, that's why he's inducted into.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, obviously. Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations, Steve and family.
Congratulations. We will do inductee number 4 now.
All right, fourth inductee is Bill Stearns. All right, so I'm struggle through this one here. This inductee is obviously very special to me. Bill Stearns wore many hats in his Thunder Valley career. From car owner to spotter, there was not much that Bill Stearns didn't do at his time at Thunder Valley. He helped produce drivers such as Buddy Stearns, Bob Walls, Jeremy Huffman, Dennis Rentz, Tanner Huffman, and of course JT Huffman. Bill was a part of an estimated 50 feature wins at the Valley in numerous different ways. Bill was never afraid to jump in and lend a hand on anyone's car, and I think that is what's most important about his legacy. Bill started his Thunder Valley career with Thunder Valley hero Buddy Stearns, and the two had many successful years together. He later on teamed up with Dennis Rentz and took on the Bomber class. They once again threw Buddy behind the wheel and were very, very successful and competitive. His last years at the Valley were spent with me running mini stocks every Friday night. As his health declined in his later years, Bill continued to be a staple at Thunder Valley, helping me as well as others get over the hump in their racing careers. It is with great honor that we induct my grandpa, Bill Stearns, into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Bill and family. I know he means a lot to Thunder Valley. Yeah. I know he means a lot to your career, too. I know, it means a lot to a lot of people's career.
He means the world to what I've got going on, and he helped, me and my Uncle Buddy. Two of the guys that helped the most. But, Dalton Fleener would even tell you that my grandpa was always in his ear telling him something. The guys my grandpa helped coach and pulled for and worked on cars nonstop, and he wasn't in the best health all the time. He had breathing problems, but they didn't let that slow him down. And for years, he sat in the same spot at Thunder Valley by me and Mom, and just was up there pulling for whoever's hometown and whoever he could help out.
Every week.
That one was a big one. I'm glad he got voted in. I was actually really surprised that he got voted in, but a lot of people thought of his name when they voted for him, and it's an honor that my grandpa's in it, and I'm really proud that he's in the first class.
So congratulations to Bill and family. We will go to number 5.
Number 5. This will be our halfway point. All right. 5th inductee, another mini sprint guy. Let's talk about Scotty Ballantyne for a minute here. Another mini sprint legend of Thunder Valley is our next inductee. Scotty's black and yellow number 1 was hard to miss on and off the track. Part of the Ballantyne gang, racing took immediate hold on Scotty, and he was a natural. In 1990, Scotty started a 16-year Thunder Valley campaign, racing against the high dollars of the cars of the time, and it was no big deal for Scott. His driving ability was way above the rest. Winning a track championship in 2006, Scotty was on top of his game, but retired shortly after. I was unable to get an exact number of feature wins, but it's safe to say Scotty won his fair share of races. I watched Scotty growing up, and the shows he would put on were outstanding, always pushing the car to the limits and putting it where other people would not put their car. It's my pleasure to induct Scotty Ballantyne into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Scott Ballantyne.
There's a lot of Washington County guys making it.
There is.
So that tells you how big Thunder Valley was to this hometown group,
Well, Thunder Valley is one of those places that, and that's why I'm excited to be doing this Hall of Fame, is because whether it's declined over the years or, I really feel like if we can get a promoter back in there next year or whatever, I really feel like the Thunder Valley will continue to grow again. But still, even just a local small track has touched so many people over the years, like we said earlier. It's just crazy. It's
amazing. And to touch on Scotty one more time, I'm telling you, him and Tim Rivers, him and Dwayne Brown, wow. To watch you might as well watch a 410 show when you put a mini sprint on Thunder Valley and them guys are trading sliders and, giving everything they got in those cars. It was just a beautiful sight back when I was growing up, and I can't say enough about Scotty, and I'm glad you made it, Scotty. I think that's awesome. I hope you're watching. And I hope all the Ballantyne gang's watching, because that's what an honor to put the first Ballantyne in the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations. And we will go to number 6.
Number 6. We're going to have to take a break out. It's like I get a drink.
We will. We'll make you a break.
All right. Number 6, Ernie Cannonball Sparrow. So let's talk a little bit about Ernie Sparrow here. Making the most of what he had Ernie was able to pave his own way to success. Taking leftovers from other guys, Ernie was able to put a hot rod together that was just as fast as the rest. Known as Cannonball, Ernie ran many stocks and many late models at Thunder Valley for multiple years, winning numerous races. As a bigger guy, Ernie faced many challenges as the cars and technology advanced. When racing seats became mandatory, Ernie was not able to find one that fit him properly. But that was not going to stop Ernie from racing, and with some slight modifications to a old hot water heater, he was back in business. There were also times that hauling the car to the track just wasn't an option for Ernie, but that didn't stop him from getting there. He would drive his race car down Highway 160, and then after the race, he would drive it back. His unusual approach made him a fan favorite for many years at Thunder Valley, and it's safe to say there will never be another one quite like him. It's an honor that we induct Ernie Sparrow into the 2022 class Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Ernie and family. That's a cool story.
It is really cool. And, Ernie also invented the flap in the roof to help get in. I mean, he was a bigger guy, but he didn't let that slow him down. And, they weren't rich. They were a low-budget team like most of us are. And to cut a hot water heater or, what else does it? Drive the car to the track.
Right.
I mean, that's cool. And Virgil is carrying down the legacy from him. I mean, Virgil's just like him.
Right.
And I got to thank Virgil for the information. I didn't know. I never met Ernie. He passed away, sadly, before I got to meet him. But, man, if you talk about Thunder Valley, everybody's always got a story about Ernie Sparrow. And I think he may not have won a ton of races, but everybody knows his name.
Right.
And to me, that's even bigger than winning races.
Yeah, it is. That's just as big as winning.
It's really cool, and I'm really happy that he made it, and I'm really glad Virgil got to see him make it. It's a cool deal, and I hope Virgil's watching. I hope all the Sparrow gang's watching, because that's a big honor to go in the first class. I mean, this is 10 names out of 6 pages of names. So congrats, Virgil. Congrats, Sparrow family. Ernie's well-deserving, and I'm glad he made it in.
Okay, so we're going to take a small intermission while our reader over here gets him a drink. He's getting parched. I'm going to go through some of the comments, and that way, because I know some of you are commenting, and we definitely appreciate it. Brad Walden's joined in. Jamie Walters joined in. Chris Batchelor's joined in. Tristan's watching. Kenny Simpson said, "Forgot the tire check." That's bad, JT.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
He's in the doghouse for that. Austin Cochran's here. Mindy Huffman said, "If you want to vote, please try and be reachable to give info about some drivers," and that is correct. With the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame, it's one of those deals to where, the more support we get and the more ideas and names and stuff that we get, the better off that the Hall of Fame is going to be. Like JT was saying, when you start talking about drivers back in like the early, late 80s, I mean, I'm a lot older than JT, but I was only 5 or 6 at the time. So any help we can get with names and history about that driver or promoter or, like you said, tow truck driver, concession stand person, the better off we can get the Hall of Fame, the more names we can get to vote from. So make sure you reach out to us. It don't have to be tomorrow. Like I said, this is the first 10. We'll vote the next 5 to 8 or whatever we decide to do next year. Probably the same time next year.
I'm hoping to do it this time next year.
When race season starts, and that way we can get a fresh group of names in. So make sure you reach out to us. It can be sometime over the winter or whatever. And I'll use my Flag to Flag media page too. So whenever we get ready to start voting, whenever we do start moving the process for the 2023 stuff, everybody knows what's going on, and if you want to put in names or whatever, then you can get a hold of us. So we'll make sure that it's out there.
Yeah, and thanks for commenting, guys. Keep it up. And we've kept, 50 viewers this whole time. Yeah. So that's how big this thing is, guys. This isn't just a little deal. This is a big deal for these guys. So let's get some names on there.
Austin, Brad, Bobby Jackson said great choice.
And Bobby Jackson, that's a future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I couldn't let him go in yet because I know he's got a super stock sitting in his garage. But that's definitely a future first ballot Hall of Famer as soon as I know officially he's retired.
Tony Ogle said that's awesome. Austin Cochran said thank you, JT. See, I'm getting behind, so I'm not really sure. And then Mason Fleetwood said Bill raced every year I promoted. So, I mean,
and that's
Mason's
a long period of time.
Guy.
Yeah, Mason Fleetwood, he got a vote or two.
Yep.
I mean, but I'm not saying he's done racing yet either. He might him and Chandler might throw something together one of these days.
Yeah, they're still promoting No Way Out 40.
Yeah, still doing No Way Out
Mason
40.
Great job on the No Way Out 40. Me and Addie went to Paragon, and we had an absolute blast. Thought it ran great. The racing was great. I know it was kind of a day race because of the weather, but it don't matter. I still thought the racing was great. So, Mason, keep up the good work. Okay, so
let's go over the names we got already real quick.
Go ahead, go back over them.
So first we put in Hall of Famer Bill Pack. Second we put in Dwayne Bad to the Bone Brown. Third we got Steve Smith. Fourth we had Bill Stearns. Fifth we had Scotty Ballantyne. Sixth we had Ernie Sparrow. So we're ready for number 7.
So Sarah, real quick though, Sarah Jo Cochran, she did put something on here, and this is what's great is she said Dad always told the story where Ernie came to the track with a lawn chair bolted down. Dad insisted he couldn't race like that. That's great.
A little unconventional.
Yes,
but you know what? Look at the stories the people still talk about the guy. I mean, it's wild.
Tyson Thompson said that Ernie was a joy to race against. Virgil Sparrow said thank you. Bill Laynard said. As a former official, I hope the track comes back. Fun fact, AMSA Mini Sprint Association was founded at the Thunder Valley by Greg Philpott.
That's really cool. Really cool fact
very
there.
Cool fact.
Cool info.
Dustin Rollers chimed in. Now, this is funny because every time when I would go over to Rollers and do podcasts, whatever, and then Ryan Bowling would walk in, it was always brought up that the 2009 Hornet Track champion at Thunder Valley should 100% be in. He's an incredible living legend. Maybe here in I'm not sure how many years from now.
Well, probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, he does definitely have a legacy at the Thunder Valley Raceway. So, Ryan Bowling, if you ever watch this, and I know Rollers chimed in now, but we wish you the best of luck, Ryan, because you do have a great career over there.
But is it over?
What?
His career? Could he make a comeback?
I think he can make a comeback, but as much as he's into the live broadcasting, there's no way that I don't think he could. I think he could race, but I don't think he could be competitive because I don't know if he'd have enough time to maintenance his car right or not. But anyway, okay, so where are we at? Number 7?
Number 7.
Let's do number 7.
We got 4 more to go, guys. They got pictures of that one, Matt.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Number 7, inductee Richie Ballantyne. In 1992, Richie embarked on what would be an 18-year Thunder Valley run. From mini stocks to bombers, the Yellow 11 was always one you had to contend with. In 18 years, Richie was never quite able to capture Thunder Valley Championship, but was close numerous times. With 30-plus feature wins, Richie cemented his names in the books as one of the Thunder Valley greats. Though a quiet guy, Richie was still a fan favorite for many years and always made time for the fans. Never failing to make appearance in the grandstands and acknowledging everyone, big or small, was an easy decision. It was an easy decision to pull for the Yellow 11. Richie was also never afraid to help another guy out, and some of the best advice I ever received as a young driver came from him. A humble guy, Richie now spends his time playing with old tractors and side-by-sides, but can still be found in the grandstands from time to time. A lot of people would like to see Richie come back behind the wheel, but him and his wife Michelle assure me that those days are behind them. And with nothing else left to prove, I can't say that I blame him. Richie's legacy on and off the track is one that is hard to top, and that's why it is a privilege to induct Richie Ballantyne into the 2022 class Thunder Valley Hall of Fame. Congratulations, buddy. All right, Richie Ballantyne, that's another Washington County guy. Really cool, really cool. I'm a big Richie Ballantyne fan. Grew up watching him. He raced with my Uncle Bud. He raced with my dad. The guy could drive anything.
Right.
And he was just so easy to get along with.
It was an iconic yellow number 11, too.
The iconic yellow 11. And that car's still racing today. That's the craftsmanship Richie put into his cars. Yep. Buddy's still racing Richie's old car today. And the thing's not bent. The welds aren't cracked. I mean, the car is just immaculate.
It's still competitive.
Still competitive. And, you know, when I was growing up racing mini stocks at Thunder Valley, I mean, I was just a young kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I was running people over. I was an idiot out there.
I was there.
And Richie was... Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Richie was, you know, he was like, just slow down and you'll be fast, you know. Yep. And Richie was just a great guy. Him and his brother Donnie, or cousin Donnie, I'm not sure. But those two guys, man, I can't say enough about them. And I'm really glad that they made the class. And I hope him and Shell and all them's watching. I think it's awesome. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations, Shell, for putting up with him. 2022 class, very well deserving.
Okay, I'm going to say
more comments.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Braden Reed said, hang on a minute.
You're all right.
Jerry, so do you know who named the track Thunder Valley?
It happened after SWM got done. I'm not sure if it was John Davis or who did it, to be honest with you.
Braden Reed said definitely one of the favorite tracks. Hoping it open back up. We do too. Billy Laynard says, remember the Betty Burger?
Yes.
Eric Lewis said, I was just thinking about this one. Warren Lucas said, Bill Pack was a great guy to race with. He would help everybody. He helped me when I was racing mini stocks.
You talking about Richie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
And then Dustin Roller said we were planning a race while broadcasting and commentating. We just need a two-seater. I think if you could do that, that would be awesome.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
Me and Matt get in one.
Well, I definitely would. Ali Bordeaux said, I sure wasn't done with Victory Lane at Thunder Valley. Hope it opens back up. Eric Lewis. And then Tyson Thompson said Bill Pack rolling in with his school bus hauler was always a highlight. I miss them days. Like people,
that was a lot of guys, you know?
Yeah, they would redo them school buses and make them haulers.
Look at all the love, though, that Thunder Valley's getting, people wanting to open back up.
I know. And
you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things to where, like, you don't realize it until it's not there. Obviously, you don't ever want a track to shut down, but when a track like Thunder Valley closes down into your backyard, then it really hits you.
It hits hard.
Yes, it does.
And there's not a whole lot. I'm not saying Salem's not a great town because it is, but that's one of the things that people come to Salem for.
Yeah.
You know?
Mason Fleetwood said Henry Hall named it Thunder Valley.
Henry Hall. Yep. That's cool. That's really cool. Cool fact, Mason.
Thanks
Mason. For chiming in, buddy. Ready for number 8?
Yep, let's do number 8.
Good, because then I got to find number 9, so that works good. All right, 8th inductee, Jeff Rock and Roll. Jeff Roll was the man to beat in the mini stocks through the mid-90s. Running for points, Jeff came up short 93 and 94, finishing second both year by just a few points. Determined not to let second place become his legacy, he set out on another campaign in 95. He won a staggering 8 feature events in 95 and edged out Jerry Mole by 61 points to capture his first track championship. In 95, he also set the track record early in the season, then broke it 2 more times later on throughout the season. He followed up his impressive year in 96 and won another track champion and many more feature events. Back in those days in Thunder Valley, if you won 2 consecutive championships, you weren't allowed to chase a third straight. So Jeff set out, but he never made a return after that. And it is also rumored that Jeff introduced air-conditioned race car to Thunder Valley. Running a simple dryer hose outside the car, Jeff funneled air in to help cool off in those hot summer months. A champion and an innovator, it is an honor that we induct Jeff Rock and Roll into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congrats to Jeff Roll and family for being inducted.
That's one of the guys I didn't know much about, Jeff. That was before my time. I got a hold of wife Amy. She helped me out. I got this cool 1996 Thunder Valley program, and it talks about Jeff in here some, and it's got a picture of his car. Something I thought was really cool in here is it gave the points in here. So Jeff had 514 and Jerry Mole, but they ran out of room on how many names they could list that ran for points.
Really?
So they had 49 names, and it says you can find the rest somewhere else, but I think that's really cool.
It is.
So that's telling you how many cars were there, and my dad talks about running 2 or 3 different features, so it's just really cool to see that. I was trying to find that lap time because I thought that was really cool that it had the Thunder Valley lap time. And Amy told me she doesn't know if it's ever been broke. I'm going to guess it probably was broke. Am I going to guess anybody recorded it? No, but I'm going to say that, the mini stocks, they really progressed there in the end. And, you had Bobby Jackson, Chevy Goods, and Jim Walters. Those guys were setting blistering laps, but the track record, I got it right here. I promise, Matt. Bear with me.
Oh, you're fine.
You're fine. It's really cool that it had that stuff. Where's it at? Track record holder. Okay. I didn't find that, but listen to some of these names that were running back then. In the mini late models alone, you had Gerald Jackson, you had Tony Pumphrey, you had Rodney Bruce. Then you go to the mini stocks, you had Bob Walls, Randy Lee Jr., you had Jerry Mole, Richie Ballantyne's in here, Jeff Roll, track record, it doesn't say the time. I swore it said the time. But the A.J. Felker, it talks about A.J. Felker running up here, Dwayne Brown beating out A.J. Felker in a race. It's just this magazine's really cool that somebody brought me in, and it's
Those
really
little
cool.
programs like that are awesome.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see the local guys were dominating, even though you got people like Felker coming in here trying to take it from them. So, congrats, Jeff Roll. What an honor. I don't know much about you, but I hope you're watching today. And if you got any facts more for us, I want to talk about you guys later on the show too. So, give us some stuff. But back-to-back championships, 95, 96 with 50-plus cars running for it. Say no more to me.
Tyson Thompson said that his brother Blair ran 2 races there and received a 52nd place trophy for points in 95.
A 52nd place.
52nd place in points.
That's wild.
It is.
I couldn't imagine.
That is crazy.
When I ran mini stocks, the most cars we ever had at night was like 26.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and that was one night in like 5 years.
And then Anthony Finley said that he remembered Bill Pack in his later year. He never hot lapped his pure stock. He said he already knew what his car was going to do. One hell of a guy. Only knew him for a few years. That's like, I don't need to hot lap.
That's Jason Heyman style right there.
We'll pull on the track when the heat races are
Yeah, and go wax the field.
ready. Yeah, exactly. Kyle New did. Okay, so I know there's a lot of people that's probably just maybe chiming in or whatever. But we'll go over it again just real quick because we've only got 2 inductees. We got about 20 minutes left or so. There was a board that was picked. JT picked 8 people.
8 people voted, yes.
8 people voted with the list of names. We just wanted to list the names, and then whoever got the most names or whoever mentioned these names the most, we tallied those up, and then the top 10 were inducted into the 2022 Hall of Fame for the first round. So if you're just now joining in or whatever, that's how they were voted in. So
really cool
Mason
stuff.
Fleetwood said that Devin Gilpin, mini stock track record holder.
Now, that would have been early. We still had mini stocks after that, Mason. You sure Bobby Jackson wasn't? I'm a big Devin Gilpin fan. I was pulling for him hard last night. But are we sure Bobby Jackson wasn't even a touch faster than that? Chevy Goodson?
I'm not sure.
I don't even remember him keeping lap times there the last 5 or 6 years, but I know when Bobby Jackson go around me, I was having to put the stickers back on because he just sucked the stickers right off the race car.
Have to get your car lettered every week.
Got to get lettered every week.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's do number 8.
Number 8. No, that was number 8. We're on number 9.
Number 9. Sorry.
All right.
Number 9.
Number 9. All right, Ronnie Wilcox, another Washington County guy. Another member of the SWM team is our next inductee. Ronnie wore many hats in his time at Thunder Valley. A lead promoter through the late 80s and the mid-90s, Ronnie worked many parts of the race program. Supplying many of the tow vehicles and keeping the equipment maintained were some of Ronnie's major roles. He also was found on the flag stand for a short period of time, but didn't waste any time finding a replacement for that. Ronnie and the SWM team are a lot of the reasons that Thunder Valley even made it onto the map. Producing great weekly shows and giving local drivers a place to shine, Thunder Valley was the place to be on a Saturday night in Salem. Only running 3 to 4 classes a night did not stop the pit area and grandstands from being packed. Ronnie and his team did everything they could do to make sure the show was smooth and exciting at the same time. It is safe to say that the bar was set high, and with that being said, it is my privilege to induct Ronnie Wilcox into the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Ronnie and family.
Something I want to add about Ronnie.
I had it.
Not only was he running Thunder Valley, he's running a tow business on the side. The founder of Wilcox Towing. And trying to do that and run a racetrack at the same time, make sure track conditions good, making the equipment good, that's no easy task.
No.
And he was promoting, he was running the wrecker, he was doing flagging. I mean, the guy was all over the place, working his tail off. And I had a lot of trouble finding information on Ronnie. I got a hold of his son, Ron. I got a hold of a guy named Brett James, who's going to vote next year. He's going to be on the board. He's the one that took over the flagging up there from Thunder Valley. And they couldn't say enough good things about Ronnie.
Good.
I mean, I think it's really cool that a Salem guy poured back into the community with the racetrack.
And being a jack of all trades, too, multiple tasks, that means a lot.
Oh, yeah. And that's huge. The amount of help that he poured into that place, I mean, I think that's really cool.
Right.
And I'm glad he made it. He squeaked by with 3 votes and squeezed right in there.
Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead, and then we're going to do our last inductee into the 2022 portion of the Thunder Valley Raceway Hall of Fame. Once we get driver 10 or inductee 10 entered into the Hall of Fame, we'll do a complete rundown of the drivers who's inducted. Kind of go over the Hall of Fame a little bit more.
Let's do it. Last one. Here we go.
Here's number 10.
All right. Our 10th and final inductee is Roger Snell. A 6-time Thunder Valley track champion rounds out our 2022 Class Hall of Fame. Roger began his racing career in the mid-'80s, and he never looked back. Winning 70-plus Thunder Valley feature events along the way with 6 championships, it's easy to say Roger is one of the greatest to ever touch the Thunder Valley soil. Roger drove the red and white number 8 in the PTRA division for many of years, where he found much success. Roger was also president of the PTRA for 10 consecutive years, helping keep the class on top. With what spare time he had, he could be found working and coaching on his son Sean's car on and off the track, and was a big part of the success Sean had as well. An open heart surgery looked like it could end the dynasty Roger had created, but a short month after the surgery, Roger strapped back into the 8 truck and parked in victory lane the very first night back, thus proving no one had more dedication than Roger. In 2015, with the truck class struggling for cars, Roger decided it was time to hang up his hat on the legendary career, and it is with great respect that we add Roger Snell into the class of 2022. Roger Snell. I don't know that you can say enough about the man. 6 track championships, 70-plus feature wins. I don't know if anybody has numbers like that.
Right.
And was fast every night. Consecutive. Him and Bill Pack, the guys to beat. You know, there was a short run there from the Blakenbakers that interrupted it. Short run Eric Woodward and Zach Bain and Randy Lee put out there for a minute that was interrupted, but it didn't matter. They still had to beat those 2.
Right.
So I think Roger Snell making it in is huge, and I'm very excited about him. I was hoping he would make it. He got just enough votes to squeeze by, and I think it's really cool that he made it. And I hope he's watching. I talked to her name was Kayla. I think she might have been Kayla Fox or Kayla Snell, but she was extra helpful on getting me information. I can't say enough. Thanks to you, Kayla, for helping get me the information on him, because I would have never guessed that he won 70+. That is a staggering number, and I doubt there might be some guys close, but it would be really hard to beat that, I feel like.
Right. Okay, that is your first 10 inductees into the Thunder Valley Raceway Hall of Fame. That is the class of 2022. Congratulations to all the inductees. Like I said, both of these, the big banner or the big sign down in front and the 2022 inductee sign will be hung up at the Washington County Fairgrounds by the Thunder Valley Raceway. Have you got a place picked out for that yet?
I'm hoping to put it on the concession stands. Okay. I talked to one of the fair board guys, and he didn't seem like it'd be a big deal.
Okay.
So I'm if I can't get it hung up there and then have a room, I'm just going to put something in the ground. But yeah, that's going to have the big sign up. And then every year we're going to hang one of these littler signs underneath of it with the inductees. Okay. And I'm hoping this is just tradition. And one day when I decide I want to not be in charge of the board, somebody else to take it over. Yep. Yeah. And if somebody wants to take it over now, that's fine. I want to be on the board because I think it's a blast. I had a great time voting for these guys. Yep. And I think every one of these members is well deserving. And I want to say how hard it was to narrow it down to 10. And there's a couple guys that I really, really wanted to make it that didn't make it. So there's no way you guys can blame it on favoritism because.
Well, that's one thing I'll touch on too, because I know you had more to do that side of it. But we'll hit on it again. There's so many names out there. And the job that it takes to get these names, narrow them down, figure out who's in, who's out. It's no disrespect to any driver, promoter, anybody. It's just the voting, and that's just the way that it goes. Hope we get the board going for the 2023 class. It's going to be a voting process, and then if your name's voted in, then you'll be part of the 2023 class.
Don't be discouraged.
No,
please don't be discouraged. Like there's not a Huffman on there, and I'm not discouraged. This is awesome.
Right.
This is awesome. And a lot of these guys meant a lot to me, and some of them I didn't even know, but I'm glad those guys made it too after reading about them.
Absolutely.
There's
a lot of history there.
A ton of history. And I'm glad you guys are commenting. Look at the response. How many viewers we got, Matt?
We were up to 50. We was up to 55.
We had 50. We've kept 50 the whole show. So
and the sport's awesome.
The love for Thunder Valley is still there. And I'm going to cover these names again real quick. I'm going to tell you how many votes they got out of the 8. And then I want to cover some of these other guys because I know some of you guys are watching. I want you guys to know who got votes.
And then to Jerry Curry, I will get you a list of the inductees so you can get it in the newspaper.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. All right, let's go back over here. So our first inductee was Bill Pack. We got 8 votes. He received 7. 7 of 8 voters voted for him. Dwayne Brown got 6 of 8 votes. Steve Smith got 5 of 8 votes. Bill Stearns got 4 of 8 votes. Scotty Ballantyne got 4 of 8 votes. Ernie Sparrow got 4 of 8 votes. Richie Ballantyne got 3 of 8 votes. Ronnie Wilcox got 3 of 8 votes. Jeff Roll got 3 of 8 votes. And Roger Snell got 3 of the 8 votes. Now, I said so it took 3 to get in. The list of 2s, mile long.
So let's do this. Let's consider this a class of 2022 honorable mention, because I really have I have a feeling that the names that some of these names that JT might list off.
If I can figure out what I did with it. There it is. Okay, I got it.
High probability of getting in.
Yeah. Oh, these guys are going to make it. There's no doubt.
Yes.
It's just when, you know.
Yep.
Let's talk here. I'm just going to start on the top here. Gordon Dixon received a vote. Jeremy Ingram. Gordon Dixon received more than one vote. Gordon Dixon got 2 votes. Jeremy Ingram 2 votes. Roger Rickenbacker 2 votes. Greg Durbin, man, I really wanted Greg Durbin in. Man, I was praying hard, and he got 2, and he came up just 1 vote short, and he's going to be in for sure.
He'll be.
And I hate that he didn't make it in this one. Bub Cummins got a vote. Reed Sparks, Dennis Rentz, Gary Day, David Fordyce, Kurt Bennett, Bob Beasley, Jim Pfeiffer, Aaron Fields, Randy Lee Sr., Tony Ogle, the Hearst brothers, Jeremy Huffman, Philip Huffman, Jim Walters Jr., Rodney Bruce, Emil Bennett, Butch Bennett, Mason Fleetwood. Mason Fleetwood got a couple votes. Mason, see, you're a future Hall of Famer, buddy.
Hall of Famer,
and look
Mason.
at the facts you're laying on.
Yeah.
I mean, you were 1 vote shy of being in there. Ray Weston, Bobby Jackson got 2 votes. I wanted Bobby Jackson to be in it, but I don't think I could let him be in it yet because I'm not done with his legacy.
Right.
He's got that super stock, Bobby. We're waiting on you to come back, buddy. But he was only 1 vote short of making it,
Right.
even though he wasn't even qualified. So he would have made it if I wouldn't have told him that they couldn't vote for him, and he still got 2. He broke the rules and still got 2. Donnie Fleetwood, Devin Gilpin, Steve Leonard got a vote. Roy Smith, Donnie Smith, John Davis, Gary Day, Johnny Spears. Kyle New, are you still watching? Your mom worked the ticket booth. Nobody can remember her name, but she got 2 votes. The new ticket lady. Her last name was New. But nobody could remember her name. They said, but they loved her. So she was only 1 vote away from making the first class, and she sold tickets. So that's awesome.
It is.
Joe Walker, Brad Parton, Herschel Harrison, Donnie Martin, Leon Cook, Don Walp, Robert Smith, Jeff Terry, David Schultz, Mark Humphrey, Tony Soul, Chuck Jones, Jack Wingler, Teresa Wingler, Chuck Tarr, Harlan Baker, Johnny Mole, Johnny Cozart, Troy Schrinkle, Bo Hendricks, Bill Felker, AJ Felker, James Mount, Brett Calhoun, Rick Quillen, Roy Moore. JT Huffman got a vote, but I canceled that because he's not done with his legacy yet either. Floyd Ballantyne, Scott Gill, Mike Basham, Steve Day, Lynn Murray, Donnie Martin, Steve Booley, Jim Bauer, Garnett Eldridge, Mike Bailey, Dwayne Hildebrand. And see, like Mike Bailey and Dwayne Hildebrand, or not Mike Bailey and Dwayne, Mike Bailey and Garnett Eldridge, they both got race cars sitting there too.
Right.
You know, these guys are breaking the rules and still getting votes. So, like I said, don't get discouraged, guys. And like a lot of these, you guys would have got votes if I'd have said, "Hey, you can vote for guys that are still racing."
Right.
But then you're taking away from the guys that left a legacy. You know,
exactly.
Bobby Jackson, Chevy Goodson, Jim Walters was all other names on here too.
Kyle said Kathy Denny New.
Kathy Denny New. Kathy New was 1 vote away from making the Hall of Fame, and I think that's freaking awesome.
It is.
And
she's getting some love on here.
Yeah, that's all. She was so sweet, and I wish she would come back too. She was great. Betty Lanehart, you know, that's another lady that I always thought, man, super sweet, was always there.
Yeah.
You know, so there's so many phones. People are texting about the show. Chris Batcher says Rick Allen. I mean, there's so many people that played a role here, and guys, help me vote these people in. Come on.
Sarah Jo Cochran said, if you're not rule breaking, you're not winning.
This is racing, right?
That's right. It is racing.
And I'm so proud of all the comments and the views we've kept up, guys. I was hoping this show would be big, and it's even bigger than I thought it was going to be.
And I will say this, like, I know that when I started Flag to Flag Media, you know, several months ago, my intent was to capture behind the scenes stuff of local racing. And with the addition of bringing JT on the show and just the history of like local racing and stuff, you know, we obviously, you know, we wanted to do the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame, which I think has been a big success and tickled to death with it. We also want to keep Flag to Flag itself growing to help support, you know, all these drivers that we just mentioned that are still driving. You know, it takes stuff like this. It takes like these local guys that are doing the live broadcast, and it takes the racing community as a whole to support the drivers and support these sponsors to keep things going. We don't want any of it to slow down or stop, you know. So we're going to keep producing content for Flag to Flag Media. I got a lot of stuff planned over the summer. I know JT's going to be racing a lot this summer, with when he's not building a house and stuff. So make sure. I know we've had 50 viewers all night, and that's just awesome. I mean, that's a phenomenal amount of viewers. The support is awesome. I'm excited about it. Like I just.
And let's keep the pressure on the fair board for keeping the racetrack open.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of new guys on the fair board, and a lot of them have talked to me about racing up there. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's show them that we're here to watch racing at Thunder Valley again.
Yep.
Let's not let it die.
No.
And let's just keep building it up. Let's keep adding. Let's have drivers add to this list for 30 years.
Absolutely.
Let's not let it die.
This is a great place. Drivers after me and JT's long gone.
Let's talk about the great talent that is produced right now for just a second. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Aubrey Egan.
Yep.
Raced Thunder Valley. Won Brownstown feature winner. Devin Gilpin. Started out mini stocks Thunder Valley. I don't think you can say nothing about Devin Gilpin.
4-time national modified champion.
AJ Felker.
Yep.
Ran mini sprints Thunder Valley. Zach Sasser. Ran mini stocks Thunder Valley. I ran mini stocks Thunder Valley. I mean, you go list these guys that get their start there. Shannon Walp ran Thunder Valley. These guys that got their start there build on to something better.
Right.
This place has grown a lot of guys, and the support these guys pick up there, they're second to none. I've walked through Brownstown grandstands before. I love Brownstown Speedway. Favorite racetrack ever. Brownstown, I love it. I walk up there and I walk through the grandstands. I'm not nothing special there. When I walk in the grandstands at Thunder Valley, I can't get to my mom because I have to stop 8 times to talk to 8 people that I don't even know.
That's awesome.
And that's what the sport's about.
It is.
There's no race car driver. There's no racing. There's nothing there without a fan.
Right.
The fans make it happen.
Yep.
And people like Matt, and I'm not bragging on Matt too much because he's my buddy. Matt is doing the great things for the sport. Him and that other podcast that comes on what's the other one that Matt and Dustin's on?
Throttled Up.
Throttled Up.
Yep.
These people like Matt and these guys off Throttled Up and Flag to Flag, they're helping us. They're helping us keep this sport going, and I think it's huge. And I'm glad to be a part of it now. And you guys just keep watching, keep viewing, and help us out.
Absolutely. And then the other thing too that makes this stuff go so smooth is the people that it's commenting. That's one of the reasons why I like doing a live show. You can go back and watch it later, but it's also too it's the interaction. Some of these stories that's popped up tonight. I mean, I know tonight was a Hall of Fame show, but just the stories and the people chiming in. And this is not about me and JT sitting here just talking all the time. It's about everybody. Get on here every Thursday night and let's talk about something. Let's talk about some kind of racing or whatever.
If you want to be on the show, shoot us something.
Yeah,
we'd love to have you.
Absolutely. So one thing we've talked about doing, and we've talked to Zach Stalker a little bit about too. It was also mentioned that Justin Bowling was in the studio, but we also too want to make this like a roundtable discussion. There's going to be some shows where we don't have guests. It's just going to be 3 or 4 of us just sitting around, and whatever topic hits the table. I mean, it could be something that happened in Lucas Oil Late Models. It could be something that happened at Brownstown. It could be something that happened at Rockcrest, Paragon, whatever. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We're going to discuss it. It's just racing topics. So
we like everybody's perspective.
That's going to be fun.
Yes, and perspective's different for everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
Well, you set your car up compared to where somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Racing's just such a fun sport, and it's very humbling. You're on top the 1 minute, and next minute you're trying to make the show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's a great sport to be a part of. And does it cost a lot of money? Of course, it costs a lot of money. Does it take every spare second I got? It takes every second, every dime, everything I've got to do it. But I could be sitting in a bar.
Yeah.
I could be, somewhere with a needle in my arm.
Right.
But no, I'm at the racetrack,
yep.
and I've my mom never regrets getting me into it. My dad doesn't regret it. It's something we can do as a family.
I've met some of the greatest people that I know through racing.
Racing's got the greatest people in it.
It does.
And Thunder Valley people are some of the greatest people out there. And I want to I don't know if we're done, we're close to done, but I want to thank you for letting us have the Thunder Valley Hall of Fame show on your show.
Absolutely.
Because this was a great avenue.
I'm glad to be part of it. I'm glad, that everybody's watching. I'm glad that we finally got it launched. I think it's a big thing.
It's huge. You want to read through some comments real quick?
Yeah, let's read through some comments.
We
got all kinds of comments on here.
Yeah, we've only been on here. We'll do another 10, 15 minutes and get through some comments.
Yeah, let's. Chris Atkins said, congrats to all the drivers. They all deserve it. Congrats to all from Tony Ogle. Austin Cochran said, thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciated. No problem. We're glad to be doing this. Tony Ogle said, great job, JT and Matt. Thank you, Tony. Sarah Jo Cochran said, congratulations to those inducted and their families. Thank you for sharing your loved ones' stories. Josh Harris said, I should have won more races there.
We all say that, Josh.
Bill Lannert said that Ray Weston is the ageless wonder. You know, Ray, I always enjoyed watching him go around track. I mean, he loved it.
Had more fun than anybody there.
Absolutely.
And he got 2 votes, so I thought that was really cool.
Yes. Sarah Jo Cochran said, we love Kitty New. Austin Cochran said, G9. If you're not rule breaking, I read that one to you. Kyle New said, congrats to Bill and Roger. I enjoyed racing with them in PTRA for 10 plus years. Brad Walton said, everyone you named well deserved. Can't wait to see what is in store. I do want to say this because their names were not on the list, but I will give a big shout out to Doyle Adams and Deanna Cecil. The stuff that they do for the racing, the autism stuff is just phenomenal. I know Doyle is a huge supporter of the big Salem Speedway, the asphalt track, and the Thunder Valley when Thunder Valley was open last year. I do want to give a shout out to those two because I know that they work their tails off. Doyle takes awesome pictures, and Deanna's always busy doing something with helping out. So give a shout out to them. Jamie Walter said Kerry Kane and Logan Mounts also.
Yeah, there's 2 big names that grew up that ran there. And Josh Harris ran there a lot too. Growing, I don't know if he commented that or not, but Josh Harris got his start there for a big part of it.
He commented. He said, "Got my start there. That will be my forever home track."
There's no place like it in the world, and I've been in touch with a couple Fair Boards guys, and they're saying, next year they want to race, they want to get it going again, and they're talking about maybe even having a fair race this year. So I've been pushing hard, and there's a couple other people pushing hard. So hopefully we get it going sooner than later. So. It's hard to build it back once the door's shut. It's hard to open them back.
Anthony Finley said JT Superstar.
I have a lot of luck there. I'm very blessed. Got a big following there.
Yeah.
And I'm not me and this other guy, Travis Howe, man. We had quite the rivalry there for a minute. And I tell you what, there was a time there that I could have just pushed Travis Howe down a set of stairs. We talk now, we're fine, we're buddies. But that rivalry, was it stressful because I wanted to make sure I beat him every week? Of course, I did not want to lose to Travis Howe. But the fans loved that, you know.
Yeah,
and when I was growing up, it was Bill Pack and Roger Snell. It was Dwayne Brown and that Ambrose guy, Scotty Ballantyne, Tim Rivers, Jeremy Ingram, Reed Sparks, Bub Cummins, Roger Rickenbacker. I mean, those rivalries.
Right. That's what makes
racing fun. And Thunder Valley has them because there's rubbing.
Yes.
You can't get around Thunder Valley and not touch somebody, So I think that's what always made it fun to watch. And I think the rivalries there are crazy. And I got the experience, like I said, with Travis. And, at the time it was stressful because I couldn't stand losing to the guy. But looking back to it, it was some of the most fun I ever had in a race car.
The funnest. Austin Cochran said that I was going to Thunder Valley with 4 weeks old. Doyle said Elmer Davis.
Elmer Davis, that's a big one. Yeah. I can't believe somebody didn't think of him. Yeah. Doyle, you need to vote next year.
Yeah, Doyle, you need to get in on the voting.
And guys, please contact me because I want to get 20 voters.
Corey Baker said money well spent for me.
Did Corey Baker race there?
Nah, not that I know of. He probably helped Dwayne maybe back in the day. I don't know.
I hope Dwayne's watching because it was really hard for me not to blab the world that Dwayne Brown made the Hall of Fame because that's one of my childhood heroes.
Well, I'll tell you a little funny story before. I mean, I know it's 9:03, but so when JT and I discussed this, I had called Corey Baker and I was like, "Hey," I said, he was kind of asking about the Hall of Fame, and I said, when you see Dwayne, because Dwayne retired from Kimball's and he's working for Corey part time, I said, just tell Dwayne that I'm sorry, but he's honorable mention. He's not getting in. So then a couple days go by and I didn't think nothing about it. My phone rings and it's Corey Baker. I said, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "Somebody wants to talk to you." And he had his truck. It was on, where you could talk to your Bluetooth or whatever. And this guy is just going off about his racing career. And there's no reason he should be, on honorable mention lists. And, this is way before the voting even took place, but I've known Dwayne for a very, very long time. Dwayne's a good dude. I did get to watch him race some super stocks and late models, but I really didn't get to watch a whole lot of his mini sprint career. I wish I would have because I think it'd been awesome.
6 championships.
Yeah, but Dwayne's a good guy, and I always like telling people that story every time I see him since we started this ordeal. Was he was. Oh, he was just going off, There ain't no reason I should be on, But congratulations to Dwayne for getting it. I know he's made a big impact.
Huge congrats to that guy, to him and his family, because his dad was awesome too. His dad Larry was a big part of that deal, and I hope Larry makes it one day. That would be cool. I would rather my dad make it than me.
Corey's saying his sponsorship money for the show.
Oh,
yeah, because he's saying this is way more exciting than deer hunting.
Oh, thanks, Corey.
Corey,
I make the show.
Corey, we love you. We love you, Corey, and thank you for Solutions Directional Drilling. Before we leave, though, I do want to thank my sponsors, Jason Petmeyer, Farm Bureau agent here in town. That's my family's insurance agent. Solutions Directional Drilling, Corey Baker. Thanks for the shout out, Corey. B&D Excavating and Septic, and P3 Graphics. Can't thank Eric Bryan enough for this little sign and the big sign that will be hung up. Eric also done the Flag to Flag Media banner. We can't thank what he does for Flag to Flag Media. And I got another one's coming on board. Tony Ogle. I got to get his information and stuff, then I'll have him put up there. And also too, Green's Auto Sales in Salem. Justin Green's always been a supporter in everything that I do. Been a great family friend for a long time. So I appreciate Justin for coming on board too. So I want to read this. So Kathy Denny knew she did comment. So I'm going to read this.
Oh, did she comment? Yeah. That's awesome.
She said, I think this is a really cool thing you guys are doing. I worked Thunder Valley for 20 years. I worked the hill gate, pit gate, front concession stand, and the front ticket booth. I met so many great folks and made a lot of friends. My dad, Clarence Denny, built many of the engines. There's a person I had not heard was Phil Gravy in the late model division. I want to thank you all for the kind words for me. I love that. I love what I did there. My son, Kyle New, was the youngest one to ever start and run the PTRA. Kathy, we appreciate everything that you've done at Thunder Valley. There's stuff like that definitely does not go unnoticed. I'm a concession stand guy, man. Like, I love the nachos.
Yes.
I mean, I ain't got a camera in front of,
How many people, in any other Hall of Fame you ever seen, though, how many people like that get a vote?
They don't.
She missed it by one.
Yes.
That's how big of a difference she makes.
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy. And my mom and dad were just like in tears because they couldn't think of her name. And I want to thank Kathy for all she did for me, because I remember her too. I mean, she was an awesome lady. And I remember Kyle. They're just a good group. And the Thunder Valley family just so tight that we're going to put ticket ladies in. And I think that's great.
Awesome. It is awesome.
I think that's great.
So we are at 9:10. I want to thank everybody for watching. It means a lot to JT and I. It means a lot to the Thunder Valley family. It means a lot to the town of Salem, because whenever you talk about Salem, Thunder Valley is brought up. It means the world to us. Like I said, make sure you share this out, because this is one of those shows that there's a lot of people that's impacted by this show, this episode. So make sure you share this out today, tomorrow, Sunday, Saturday, whatever. Just make sure it gets out so whoever is part of this deal here, family members can see it and all that stuff. So,
and if you see these people or their family, congratulate them.
Congratulate
What an
them.
honor.
Absolutely.
You just seen 6 pages of names, and these 10 made it. So congratulate these guys. I'm very happy for all of them, all well deserving.
Yes. So next Thursday night, we will be back. I think next Thursday night, we're going to plan probably our first roundtable conversation. I don't know if it's going to be a round table. It's probably going to be around this desk, but
rectangle table.
We don't know what we're going to get into.
I'm excited.
Who knows?
I'm excited.
It's who knows what will happen over the next week.
Yes.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We can talk about something.
Yeah.
And make sure you keep following Flag to Flag Media. I know this is not really the Thunder Valley related. I did get the opportunity to do some in-car camera stuff on Chase Briscoe's late model last night at Brownstown. It's kind of like a last-minute deal, but I did get to do some of it. Flow Racing also done some stuff, so I didn't get a whole lot of footage, but I will get that on the Flag to Flag Media YouTube channel. That's another thing, that all this stuff that I'm doing is just going to be put on the Flag to Flag Media YouTube channel. Also, the live stream that we're doing now is also streamed on Flag to Flag Media YouTube channel. So make sure you get over there, subscribe to the Flag to Flag Media YouTube. Once I know everybody, every time you go to YouTube, everybody's like, oh, subscribe. But when you subscribe, it helps me, it helps JT, it helps the Flag to Flag Media keep growing. We could get to the point to where we could make a little bit of revenue off of it to help buy equipment and promote the sport even better. So make sure you go over and you subscribe to the Flag to Flag Media YouTube channel. And we appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you next Thursday night.